Hello and welcome to the Coffee Chinwag, and hopefully you can see us. I believe we're live. We've had tech issues. We tried to go at 3 o'clock and then we got an error message saying it wasn't streaming from LinkedIn. So we're starting again. If you're on, let us know in the comments. If you're watching this live, please let us know that this is actually working. I'm going to click into the comments and see if anything's true. I'm going to look also on my phone just to make sure we're in the activity, but hopefully somebody can see this. It looks like we are live, Dionne. So welcome to the Coffee Chinwag. I'm here today with the amazing Dionne Smith, who is a personal and business brand coach. She is fantastic. I've been working with her. I know her for several years. I met her back in London in 2017. I was co-hosting a female mastermind with an amazing lady called Rena Goldenberg Lynch, giving her a shout out. And Dionne came along. We became friends. I worked with her on a voluntary project, which was Brand Me magazine. Oh, hello, Simeon. Somebody's all live. You're live. Yay.
Hurrah.
The first comment.
Kenya. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So I became friends with Dionne from the mastermind, and I worked on her online magazine called Brand Me, which was for professional women to help them to really raise their personal brand. And it was a voluntary project, and you can see examples of that magazine attached to my profile and also attached to Dionne's profile if you want to check it out after today. And we are going to be working together on a new project in the future, which I'm really excited about. And thank you so much. I can see all the comments coming in. I can see Simeon, Faith, Tracy, LinkedIn user, just telling me you're alive, and Diane. So thank you. You haven't missed it. It's just we've had tech issues. We tried to stream at 3 o'clock. It didn't work. We got an error message. So we're back, and I'm glad it's working now. And fingers crossed it will last till 3 o'clock. So thank you for joining us. As I said, we're going to be talking all things personal brand today, and I think a lot of people are confused about what is their personal brand and what is branding. And at the start of lockdown, I, like everyone else, was like, what am I going to do with my business? And I decided to go back and revisit my brand. And with the help of Dionne, I had 6 coaching sessions with her, and I literally did a massive deep dive into my business, my brand, my values, my services. And she's amazing. She's helped me to really bring out the best of me and the best of my services and really dig deep, because your brand is a lot more than your logo. So I know this is a very long intro. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the amazing Dionne. And do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do? Over to you.
Hi everyone. My name's Dionne Smith, as Jennifer's so eloquently said. I am a personal brand coach and a business brand consultant, and I predominantly work with service-based professionals who want to become coaches and consultants themselves, or who already are coaches and consultants and want to grow, upscale, get clarity in their business. So as Jennifer said, I worked with her on her brand and her business, and basically, as she said, we kind of went on a deep dive, and that first deep dive is all about your personal story, and that is so important to understand who you are as a person and what you're bringing to the table when it comes to showcasing your knowledge, your skills and your experience to your ideal target audience. So that deep dive was a very personal one.
Yeah.
And there's this really long document that I use that Jennifer had to fill in, and we go through use a session to go through that document and help to pull out skills and attributes that Jennifer probably didn't even know she had. Yeah. And that's the amazing thing for me. I love that part of it, because that's the part where the clients that I work with have those wow moments, because they didn't realize how much more powerful they can be within themselves and within their business. So it's a really great part of what I do as a coach, and that's the bit probably that I really enjoy the most and really get the most fulfillment out of.
Brilliant. And I think a lot of people don't know what their story is, Dionne. They just, especially on LinkedIn, they come on and they're not really aware of who they are or who they're trying to achieve. So you personally helped me to kind of go back and figure out who am I, what's it all about, because I've been telling people a version of my life probably from the last 10 years up, but you really got me to go back and then kind of connect all the dots of everything, like from my childhood and what I'm doing now, and just kind of made me realize my USP and just really my values and what I'm all about. And I think a lot of people don't know what they stand for, what their values are. They've never done a deep dive. And if anyone's listening and they're an employee and they might fall out of love with working with their company, it's usually a mismatch of your values, because, you know, you're going in two separate paths. And when I was younger, it was all about, you know, go to uni or get a job. And if you got a job, that's a good job, stay there, it's a good salary. There was never any talk of values, you know, do your values align with the company? You know, I didn't know what my values were really until I became a business owner. And then I could step back and reflect and go, that's why I didn't quite fit there, or I didn't quite get on with that person, because our values were not in alignment. So for me, it's been fascinating as a business owner, discovering like what I stand for. And now I know that since I've clarified my brand, I know who I want to work with and who I don't want to work with, and what I stand for and what I don't stand for. And I think a lot of people haven't done that deep dive, and you really need to do it as a business owner, because like I said, your brand is a lot more than just a logo. It's about everything that you stand for and everything you say you're going to do, and your reputation. So I just want to thank you, because you really helped me to, I think, value myself more and value my skills more, because it's hard when we're so close to a business. You know, we kind of see a certain view, but we don't see the whole picture. So you really help people to see the whole picture. And I love that you're helping people with their stories, because everything's changed really, hasn't it, in marketing in the last 10 or 20 years. You used to be able to like put out your adverts and, you know, buy this, buy that. Now it's more people centric as opposed to the brand. And it's about getting to know your why, you know, what do you stand for? What's your purpose? What's your mission? What's your vision? Whereas before, you didn't really have to do that much of a deep dive. Now you really do. So I was wondering, do you have any tips for anyone who's looking to grow or upscale their coaching or consulting business when it comes to personal brand? Any top tips?
I think for me, the thing that's worked really successfully is collaborating with people, because ultimately there's so much competition out there. There's so many other people doing similar things. And, you know, like you said, with your story and being able to step into that authentic person of who you actually are, and not feel like you're having to put on a mask because that's what society thinks how society thinks you should behave.
Yeah,
that's what makes the difference. And once you come to understand who you are as an entrepreneur, what you want to put forward to the people that you're trying to connect with, and then you're able to go out there and find people who you have similar values to, and there's a really good connection, like, you know, we have together.
yeah.
And you can, you know, combine you can combine your services and offer, you know, even more to your target audience. That is one of the best ways I've found of growing my business, is to collaborate with people, even if it's just doing a webinar. You know, I know, you know, from what you said, you've done webinars with people, and that's helped you to bring in new business. So, you know, whether you're collaborating on a webinar, whether you're collaborating on a service that you want to deliver with somebody else, or, you know, you're doing a event or whatever, collaboration is, you know, one of the best ways of building your profile, as well as kind of just understanding who you are, and you know, where are your weaknesses. You know, we talk about strengths a lot, and that's great, but you also need to know, where do I need to improve myself in order to be the best person that I can be for my target audience? What do I need to learn? Where do I need to get support? It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you have to go out there and learn it. There could be somebody else out there, and this comes with the whole collaboration thing again. There could be somebody else out there that has the skill set that you don't have, that you could bring on board into your business, or, you know, outsource to support you with an area of, for example, creating funnels if that's what you want to do. So just think about where you need to improve your business so that you can be the best person that you can possibly be and deliver the best service you can possibly deliver to your target audience.
Definitely, I agree with that. And I've seen some comments that they also agree. Rachel was saying collaborations are great with like-minded people, and Sandra's saying two heads are better than one. And I completely agree. I love collaborating. My tagline is like connect, collaborate, thrive, because I just think, we can help each other. And I think when you are a small business owner, when you set up initially, you try to do everything. You've got all these plates spinning and you don't have to do everything. So I'm all about outsourcing. If I can't do something, I don't like my accounts. So I have a lovely bookkeeper. Shout out to Carol Waters. I am delighted to give them to her because that is not my specialty. Likewise, we've collaborated on some summits and the magazine, and we're going to be collaborating on one of my services in the future. I'm going to be launching a new VIP LinkedIn service, and Dionne's going to help me give that kind of personal brand overview when we're finished with the client. So again, I agree, two heads are better than one. And together we're stronger, and it might sound cheesy, but we can help each other. And like you say, you can have complementary skills with people. If you don't have it, why not kind of team up, buddy up with people? Even like we're doing today, this whole interview series, I'm doing it to try LinkedIn Live, to get over myself, but also to showcase amazing people in my network. And you're helping me today by coming on this, and hopefully I'm helping you. So I do totally agree that collaborations are the best way forward. I was going to ask you a bit about the importance of messaging. So why do you think messaging is so important when it comes to personal brand?
Well, as obviously we've been through as well, if you don't know what you're trying to say to your audience with the vast array of emails and Facebook adverts, Google adverts, Instagram adverts, wherever you want to think about it, with the vast array of those going on, how do you make yourself stand out from everyone else that's out there doing the same thing? So really honing in on your messaging is so important. But before you can even do that, you need to think about who your ideal target audience are. Who are those ideal clients that you want to speak to and bring into your business and buy your services? What are their challenges? What are their pain points? What is it that your service that you're trying to deliver, whether it's an online course, whether it's a program, whether it's a one-to-one, whatever it is, what are those pain points that your service is going to support them with? And then once you know what those pain points are, you can then think about, right, okay, well, I need to use very emotional messaging. And I'm all about emotion when it comes to messaging.
Oh, don't worry. So Dionne has just flipped off the screen. Hopefully she's going to come back. It's buffering. But I'll just chat for a second, talk about the importance of getting your message out on LinkedIn. I think a lot of people on their profiles, they don't really know who they're trying to attract. So if you're an employee trying to get a new job, you need to tailor your LinkedIn profile with the right keywords to your target audience. So if you have a particular job in mind, you need to speak and talk about how you can fix problems, how you are solution driven, not just like rattling off all your duties. You need to really talk to your target audience about how you can help them. And likewise, if you're a business owner, you need to make, especially your summary section and your headline and your cover banner, it needs to speak to your target audience. It looks like Dionne's jumped off now, so I'm winging it. Hopefully she's going to come back in. But yeah, you need to speak to your audience. And I find a lot of business owners on LinkedIn, they use their profile like they did when they were an employee, and they rattle off stuff. So Dionne's joined back. I'm going to add it to the screen.
Yay. I'm so sorry. My computer decided it wanted to turn itself off. So
no, it's okay. It gave me to go live by myself, and I didn't have a heart attack, so it was fine. I was just saying that I totally agree with the messaging. You need to speak to your target audience. And when it comes to LinkedIn profiles, a lot of people looking for like a new job, they just kind of rattle off a lot of their duties, but they don't actually tailor the LinkedIn profile to that job and show how they can, be solution focused and help the people, solve their problem. Similarly with business owners, a lot of them write their LinkedIn profile like they did when they were an employee, and they rattle off this, or they put it in the third person, which is very informal. You have to really put your profile in the first person, because people buy people, and you need to write your summary like a homepage, and you have to talk to your target audience and say, this is how I can help you. I offer you this service to solve this pain point, not just rattling off a list of duties. You need to have the right messaging and speak to your people. So I'm just quickly going to scroll at the comments, because I have been terribly neglectful. So Helen is talking, she's mentioned about explaining your why to your audience, and that's really true. Thanks, Diane, saying she can sympathize with the Wi-Fi. Jordan saying this is great, thank you. And we've got even Claire's doing a shout out saying, would anyone like to collaborate with me? She's an environmental consultant, a nature connection for well-being and clarity and coaching. So guys, if you're watching this, have a look at the people commenting. Sounds like there's some great people today in the chat, and I promise I will be in the chat later on. I will come back to all of you. I just want to interview Dionne now, and I'm sure Dionne's going to look at the chat later as well. But thank you. Gemma's saying collaboration brings magic to the world, better value for audience, and win-win for speakers. I love that. So thank you for all these lovely comments coming in. Dionne, I know you've got some new programs, some new memberships that you're working on. Do you want to tell us a little about them? Because I think your membership, when you launch it, is going to be fab and help so many business owners get clarity on who they are, and then also have the support of a community behind them that's going to encourage them. So do you want to tell us a bit? I know it's not launched yet, but do you want to tell us a bit about what's about to launch?
Yeah, it's well, just to talk about my programs, I've got two programs. I've got one program for new entrepreneurs who want to start a business. So I basically walk them through from scratch, developing their brand guidelines, developing their brand strategy, supporting them with all those visual elements of branding, like their website, their logo, their business card, all that kind of stuff. So I've got that program. And then I also have a one-to-one program that Jennifer did, where that's for people who are already in business, but they feel a little bit stuck, and things aren't quite working the way they want them to work. They're a little bit unsure about their services and whether or not they're the right services, and just want a bit of clarity and understanding for how they should move forward. So that's the other program. In terms of the membership, it's kind of similar to that brand clarity program that I have, but it's more about me supporting you as an entrepreneur to have those breakthroughs in your business that you want to have. So learning about what tools you can use for your social media if you're doing it yourself. Learning about, how do I overcome objections? How do I, get clarity in my business? How do I use my story within my business? What about messaging? How do I know that my messaging is correct? So I'm basically going to be providing daily updates within that membership group. You get access to training. I'm going to do a live lunch and learn every week, and obviously live calls as well. So there's going to be lots of content available in my membership for you to connect with me, learn more about branding and marketing and visibility and messaging and all those lovely things that you need to understand if you're starting a coaching, or if you're running a coaching or consultancy business, selling your services, because you are your brand effectively. Yeah. I say that to people a lot. But when you're selling your expertise, you're selling yourself. So you are your brand. So that's why it's so important that, as a service-based professional or service-based entrepreneur, that you understand what your personal brand is all about, and you build that personal brand. It's your reputation, it's your credibility, it's your intellectual property. It doesn't belong to anyone else. Your personal brand is yours, no one else's. So if you don't take care of it, if you don't look after it, then you can't expect people to follow you or buy your services or build trust in who you are as a person if you don't look after your own personal brand. So that's what I'm going to be, those are the sorts of things I'm going to be covering in the membership. And it's going to be live hopefully by the end of this month, fingers crossed. So I'm just kind of finishing off little bits for that now, but I'm going to be able to put a link in now. So if you are interested in signing up for the membership, it's going to be £35 a month. So we all need to invest in our businesses and in ourselves in order to get the support that we need in order to push our businesses forward and stay current and relevant. So that's going to be coming out, as I said, towards the end of this month, beginning of November. But I'm going to put a sign up page Jennifer's going to put a sign up link. One of us is going to put a sign up link into this live, so that you can register early to get the first information and sign up quick, because the first 100 members also get the first month for free. So the first 30 days are going to be free of charge, so you can get to try everything out and have a listen and hear more about me, and hopefully have those breakthroughs in your business that you want to have, that you deserve to have, that you should be having.
Definitely. That's amazing. So guys, definitely follow Dionne and check out the link. You can get into her membership for free for the first month and learn from her. And I can tell you, she's really helped me with my business. I love the comment Helen's put up, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, from Simon Sinek. And that is so true. And Dionne will really help you deep dive into your personal brand. So sign up, be one of those first 100 to, try it out for free for the first month. That's amazing. And I'll definitely be in there, and I can't wait to see it and to see the group growing, because I know you're amazing and you do a lot of one-to-one, but I'm really excited because this is like your first kind of big membership, and I know it's going to help so many people around the world. You don't have to be based in the UK, anybody can join this. And like, I loved what you said about your personal brand being your IP, your intellectual property. I never thought of it like that, and it is so true. And we've all got a personal brand, whether you're aware of it or not. And if you don't take care of it, it's on you, really. And it does relate to your LinkedIn profile as well. You want to come across as you. You want to be the same person on your profile as you are in real life. You want to develop that know, like, and trust, because there's nothing worse if you meet someone in real life and then the LinkedIn profile doesn't match. Maybe they're very formal on their profile, and then, I don't know, they're a bit out there when you meet them, or reverse. You don't build that know, like, and trust. You want to speak in your own voice. I know there's a lot, authentic is a bit of a buzzword at the moment, really, but you just need to be true to yourself and speak the way you would. Don't become all highfalutin and compare yourself to other people, or be super formal if that's not you. Just speak the way you do. That way people will connect with you. Like you were saying, Dionne, it's all about that emotional connection, and you really get that when you're acting like a human being. So many people put on a mask, put on their best kind of foot forward, but not the full story, and then you don't buy into it. And I was a bit like that. I was putting up a very kind of polished veneer, and if you know me, I am a bit polished. I'm a bit sparkly today, and I'm not always this sparkly. I just want to give a shout out to Poppy Jakes, who I did a personal branding photo shoot with this morning, and I've just literally come off it before this, so I don't usually wear kind of glitz at home when I'm doing this. But yeah, I think you really need to be aware of your personal brand, and I've started to invest in it. It's a great time to invest in it now during this crazy year. No better time to go back, revisit your brand. You might have pivoted, I hate that word, but you know what I mean. You might have had to change because of these times, and you might have new services and new offerings. So when I started my business 3.5 years ago, it's completely different to what it is now, which is why I needed to have a deep dive and really get clarity on what I was doing. My personal brand is my IP. I certainly need to work on my LinkedIn profile, become more visible, and use my story. That's great, Faith. That's great to see. And thanks again to everyone doing comments during this. We really appreciate it. So we've been live now for 25 minutes. We started late. Dionne, will we make a half an hour? We go another 5 minutes?
Do you want to talk about the LinkedIn profile VIP service and everything that we're collaborating on? Because LinkedIn, as Jennifer's pointed out, especially when it comes to your personal brand, and as a professional coach or consultant, LinkedIn is going to be, probably, depending on your target market, but LinkedIn is probably going to be one of the most essential places for you to be in terms of meeting your ideal clients. So, you know, understanding who you are and what you want to present to the world in terms of your personal brand, of your story and your experience and what you've been through. And that's not just in your profile, but in your posts, in the way you connect with people in groups, you know, and you know, what you do on your business page, all that kind of stuff. It's all part of building that know, like, and trust factor, as you said, so that people will buy into you. You have to know what it is people will be attracted to you for. So, you know, I'm definitely one of these people that suffered with imposter syndrome. I think pretty much most of the nation, the world has suffered with imposter syndrome.
Guys, have you suffered from imposter syndrome? I bet everybody has. Put it in the comments, because I have.
I definitely have, and especially when you start out as a business owner, it's kind of it's exciting, but it's scary. It's scary to kind of think, you know, I'm putting myself out there as a coach. I'm putting myself out there and selling my experience and my knowledge. Who's going to listen to me? So you kind of have that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you, you can't do this, or that person's better than you. And you're looking at all these other people doing all these amazing things on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or wherever, YouTube. And you're, you know, there's that little voice in your head telling you can't do that, or you're not going to be as good. So, you know, you need to kind of build that mental and emotional strength in yourself to be able to put yourself out there as a entrepreneur. And that's something that's always evolving with us. So don't ever think you get to that point and you're there and you don't need to do anymore. Things always change, people change, the way we interact with each other changes, so you have to kind of change with it. And just generally, as your business grows, as you grow as a person, you'll want different things as you get older. You know, you probably want to take things a little bit easier and say, right, okay, I'm only going to do one service now. Stick with that one. I'm quite happy just staying in that lane. But whatever it is, you're always learning. So just keep an open mind and really think about, you know, what it is you can offer and, you know, how you can bring your best self to your audience.
Definitely. And I love that we are works in progress. Like you say, we're never going to be perfect. And I think it took me a long time to realize that, because you're always striving for perfection, whether I suppose you're an employee or a business owner. And then you realize it doesn't exist. A lot of us are just winging it, you know, especially with me, like the LinkedIn Live. We've just gone live today. We're winging it. We seem to be working. You know, the tech is working, but I've learned that I have to kind of get over myself as a business owner and fight the fear, go on video, do whatever to be visible, to reach my target audience, because, you know, there are other LinkedIn trainers out there. And if I don't say, hey, I'm here, people aren't going to know I exist. So you really need to, you know, kind of up your visibility game to stand out and give yourself the X factor, especially on LinkedIn. There's over 700 million people now, and you need to really sell you and your story. And you've helped me to dig deep, and I've recently posted up about my mother being bipolar, and that's really my story, because my mother developed bipolar when I was 3 years of age. I'm the eldest of like 4 kids, and I spent a lot of my life kind of walking with my head down and not wanting to stand out and be visible and not be like spotlighted as the daughter of somebody mentally ill. Luckily now times are changing. It's okay to talk about it, but it wasn't really 40 years ago. There was a stigma. And even, to be honest, my own grandmother said to me, you know, don't tell any of your boyfriends your mother's sick, because nobody will want you. And that's just the way it was. So I always kind of hid that side of things. Only a few close friends knew that. I certainly did not tell any of my colleagues or bosses, because I didn't want to be judged. And I remember about 10 years ago, my mother was hospitalized for about 6 months, which was really hard, because I live in, obviously, UK. My mother was back in Dublin, but I didn't tell any of my colleagues. So I had the stress of kind of always being on to my siblings, trying to figure it all out, but no full disclosure. So my real story is not really about me being an award-winning PA, kind of stepping up. It's really about me being someone who's come from that background and then reached an age, like you said, you get a bit older, you change. Got into my 30s and thought, I want my voice to be heard. And I realized LinkedIn could help me to do that. And I thought, this is amazing, because I'm an introvert, even though I'm chatty and I can't shut up. And I promise we will wrap it up soon, Dionne. But it helped me to get my voice in the room. And I just thought, wow, people take notice of me on LinkedIn. Whereas in face-to-face meetings, I was quiet. I never had my voice in the room. So it's really, I've started to share my story about my mother recently. And honestly, I remember sending off a press kit and somebody mailed me back and said, my mother's sick. And then I recently worked with a client and she said, my mother's sick. And people are starting to connect with me emotionally over that. And that's what I want to kind of say, it doesn't matter where you've come from. We're all, unique. We all have our own USP. We all have our story, and we kind of need to own our story to move forward and be the best version of us. I was putting out a very censored version of my story. I really only kind of talked about my story from landing in the UK, rebranding myself as a PA. I won awards, then I set up in business. But I think it's more important people to know where I've come from, someone who's kind of hidden for years and then kind of discovered LinkedIn and was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm building up a fantastic network. I'm getting visible. I'm achieving what I want in my job. And now I'm achieving what I want as a business owner. It's an amazing platform. And I've built my personal brand on LinkedIn, and it's just allowed me to connect with so many amazing people who have jumped on. So thank you for all the lovely comments. Oh, that's nice, Diane. She says, I've met you and I took to your authenticity. Okay, thank you. And thanks, Helen, who's loving my glitz. But I want to say, it's super important to be you. And hopefully you've taken that away from Dionne today, the importance of kind of digging deep and exploring what your story is. There will always be people the same as you. There are other LinkedIn trainers. You will buy somebody based on their personality and whether you connect. There will always be somebody in the same role, whether you're a PA and it's about you being you and figuring how can you stand out in a positive way. So what gives you the edge? It could be even, for me as an employee, a lot of what gave me the edge was my volunteering. So I volunteered and started to use social media as a hobby for a committee for EMA UK, which was all about championing the PA profession. And now as a business owner, I do loads of collaborations to help business owners to stand out. So, if you're not kind of getting that satisfaction in your current role, volunteering is amazing. It can help you transition and can give you new skills that you can kind of add to your armor. So I am aware I'm gone over 33 minutes. I am going to let Dionne say.
Before you do that, I just wanted to say that, when you talked about, the challenges that you've been through with your mum and, your grandmother telling you. I remember we spoke about this when we were going over your story. And it was one of the points that came to me that, you always sort of said about sharing your voice. And I think that in the back of your mind with your grandmother telling you, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone, that whole sharing your voice thing, and you so desperately wanting to do it, but not being able to, is probably one of those psychological reasons why you couldn't push through. Yeah. And it's those kind of things that I promise you, if you do my one-to-one with me and I go through your story with you, there may be tears, because that's happened before. There may well be tears. But it's those vulnerabilities and those flaws that we actually have, that we feel we have developed over our life, that are actually probably some of the most powerful things that you can use to connect with your audience and help you actually release those issues that are holding you back, like Jennifer said, of sharing her voice and just putting herself front and center, because she always wanted to hide away. She's since we've been coaching, I've just seen this completely new person blossom. And I don't want to big up my coaching, but that's more to do with Jennifer feeling confident enough that she that she understands who she is as a person and what she has to offer, that she feels that she can do that now. And she feels so much more engaged in her services and what she's delivering and how she's delivering them, that she's, you know, she's come out of her shell much more than I've known you, as you said, for the last 3 years, and I can see the difference in you already. And it's so, for me, that's why I do what I do. That's why I love what I do, because it's just supporting people to kind of understand that those issues that you've been through in your life, no matter what they are, they can support you in having that fulfillment that you really want through your business or just in your personal life, you know. So yeah.
Amazing. I was going to say, yeah, thank you so much, Dionne. Like, you've been an amazing guest today, and you have been amazing with helping me as a friend and in my business. I totally recommend a one-to-one with Dionne. And like I said, try and sign up so that you're one of the first 100 business owners to become aware of her new membership. You can join it for free for a month, and I know it's going to be amazing value because everything Dionne does is just pure class. She is pure class. So thank you, everyone. I know we could chat all day, and I know there's some questions we haven't got to. And thank you, everyone, for your lovely comments. I know there's some comments about LinkedIn Premium, and I promise I will do a similar one of these one day on my own, and I'll just do it about LinkedIn, so you can ask me all LinkedIn questions. I just wanted to keep it kind of on the topic of personal and business brand today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. And we got the tech to work. It took us about 10 minutes. It wasn't our fault.
I'm sorry for dropping out for all of
No, but it's good. I didn't have a heart attack, so it was good because you left and I was actually in the flow. So I'm grateful. Everything happens for a reason. Thank you, everyone. The next
Thank you all as well.
The next one will be 11 a.m. next week, and then the following week I double booked today, but Dionne was amazing and allowed me to switch. I forgot I had a photo shoot, as you do. So, but we got through it, and I'm sorry if I'm a bit tangent wise because I've literally had 3 hours of personal brand photos, so my brain's a bit shot. So hopefully I was coherent and you enjoyed it. But thank you for all your comments. I promise I'll get in there soon, and I know Dionne will as well. And wishing you all a great happy hump day. Have a great evening, and
Thank you, everyone.
Get in touch with us, follow us, connect with us, message us. I'm doing this series for another 2 weeks, and if I'm brave, I might continue. I might take a break in November and do another series. So it'd be good to know what kind of things would you like us to discuss. Okay, so thanks a million, and thank you, Dionne. You have been amazing. And that's it. That is the show, folks, and it has worked. So I'll see you in the comments, and thanks again, Dionne.
Thank you, everyone.
See you.
Bye.